Yeah. Arun sir, is it live now?
No, no. Yes, live it.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. HOD sir?
Sir. Okay.
Yeah, we can start.
Okay. Start, sir. Start. Good morning to all. So, good morning, Robin, Reni, sir. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Hello, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning,
Good
sir.
morning.
Good morning, all.
Yes. So, the Department of Computer Science, RMK College of Engineering Technology, organizes a generic talk series titled on Generative AI, Opportunities, Challenges, and Ethical Concerns. Oh, in this generic talk series, we have invited Mr. Robin Reni, Senior Data Scientist, Wavicle Data Solution, Coimbatore. First of all, I welcome the resource person for accepting our invitation and deliver the speech. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, next I welcome Generic Talk Series Coordinator, Dr. Rajin Paul, for organizing this event. And I'll welcome all the other faculty members, all the other professors, Dr. Arun Manikaraja, Uma Madam, and Vijay Prem sir, and Raja Guru sir, and other all associate professors and AP for this function. So last but not least, I welcome all the student participants, those who are attending the program through YouTube channel also. So I welcome you all. Now I hand over the session to the Mr. Rajin Paul. Okay, thank you. Rajin, sir?
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, good morning, everyone. I welcome Mr. Robin Reni for this wonderful session, Generic Talk Series 29, Generative AI, Opportunities, Challenges, and Ethical Concern. So I'll introduce the guest right now. Mr. Robin Reni is a full-stack data scientist in ML operation lead with 7.5 years experience in designing, developing advanced AI and ML solution across industries such as healthcare, finance, FMCG, and retail. He currently serves as an ML operation lead for McDonald's Wavicle Data Solutions, where he leads Gen AI initiatives and enterprise scale ML deployments across global cloud platform like AWS, Google Cloud Platform, Azure, and Databricks. Mr. Reni's expertise spans AI backend systems, MLOps, LLMOps, data engineering, and model operations. With hands-on contribution to projects such as sales forecasting, recommendation system, intelligent data processing, chatbots, and vision-based analytics. His innovative leadership has driven multiple successful AI accelerators and product-ready Gen AI tools, enabling faster adoption of emerging technologies in large enterprises. He holds a bachelor degree in computer science and engineering from Velamal Institute of Technology and also completed a general management program in STOA. He is a certified Azure Data Scientist Associate and Databricks Generative AI Engineer Associate, reflecting his continuous passion for learning and innovation. Mr. Reni is not only a technologist, but also a mentor, team leader, and innovative leader who believes in transforming data into meaningful business value. I welcome Robin Reni, and I'll hand over the session to Robin Reni. Please.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Rajin Paul, sir, and thank you, RMK, and thank you, HOD sir, and all the faculty members for having me on the session. So today I'll be giving you a very high level things on Gen AI and how it's used in the industry and how we leverage to build meaningful solutions and yes, and how the bus is going to drive to the way. Yeah. So let me start. Give me a sec. Let me share my deck. Yes. So is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So perfect. So just a little info about from my side is like I work as the senior data scientist as mentioned by Vijay also, and so I mostly work with clients on leveraging MLOps, Gen AI, and AI solutions. So yes, so today's agenda is like 45 minutes just on the Gen AI from magic. How did it started and how we are making it uh, workable, and how it's like we are developing solutions on top of that. And then behind Gen AI, what are the really the things which is like making it to work, and what are the modules and what are the components inside Gen AI. And then the key things for Gen AI is like the prompt engineering. So I'll be giving a walkthrough on prompt engineering, and then a famous thing like right now it's like a trendy thing. We call it as vibe coding. So I'll be giving you a walkthrough on that. And then RAG and agentic AI. This is like a key pillar. Right now, like a lot of enterprises and firms are adopting RAG and agentic AI. So I'll be giving you a walkthrough on that. And then the Gen AI applications, the current applications which are out there in the market, and then how we will be using Gen AI in a very responsible and very ethical way. So that will be like a very short one. And then what's next in Gen AI? What are the other releases going to happen in Gen AI, and how we need to be adaptable for those kind of changes? And then there will be like the recommended certifications, like the industry standard certifications, which will be like very useful as you guys for the like next developers for Gen AI, and how you guys can be identifiable and adaptable for this kind of changes. So those recommended certifications. Yes. So moving on to the next one. So every technology or everything in this world, every research or anything will follow a trend. I mean, the trend is the people more they support, the more innovations happen. The more basically it's improving the trust of that particular factor. So the more the trust, the more the economy fall. Like economy gives the support to that particular innovation, and people start developing it and using it. So that is how it happens. The first trend, this is based upon the Google trends, the Google search, how it all happened. So this is just you can see this trend happened between 2020 to 2022, and it's a very easy guess. So this one is related to COVID. So you can see there is a high trend and high search things related to COVID. And then this trend happened on 2003 around that, and still there is some hype around that, and then it's like boils down into a neat spot place, and that is called like the big data. And right now the trend is on 2022 it started, like we can say, and still like it's picking up in the top in the technology sector, and that is like the Gen AI. So most of the people's in the technology industry, in the IT industry, or even in all industry is searching for Gen AI, and which is nothing like people are like know about Chat GPT and all those things right now in the days. So yeah, the trend is real, the people are searching for it, people are using it. So today we're gonna drill down on what people are searching and how we can be a contributor to those kind of technologies. Yes. Okay. So Gen AI from magic to logic. So what is behind this magic? How what is like what we call like Gen AI? Is it like a technology, or is it like a framework, or what it is? So Gen AI, it's like a subfield from the AI family. So right now, GenAI can generate things apart from identifying patterns, we could say. So it not only create text, it also can create code, it can also create images, videos, etc., and all sort of things. So the thing started with a very simple thing like writing content. So the GenAI model, we'll call it as like LLM model. I'll be like giving a walkthrough on the LLM model shortly. But yeah, so LLM model is like the brain behind Gen AI. So it started with writing content, and slowly people thought, okay, so it can understand languages. I mean, so why can't it like understand the coding and other aspects? Then it started like the people started building some solutions on top of codes, and they started giving more amount of codes as a data to the model, and then it learned how to code and how to debug code. So then now LLM can code, and do programmatical stuff. Then what they thought, why can't it build an app? App means application or a software or any sort of like a software piece. So they built the like the build app section, and then it started also visualizing, I mean like creating or ideas to live as an image. So you can see right now there is a trend in Google Nano Banana. So people are posting, they are just sharing their photos and asking them to portray them in a very like in a modern way and in a very modern culture kind of things. So that is the magic behind that is like Gen AI, and Gen AI behind the magic is like the designing visual part. And next is answering questions. So right now, the most of the bots which you are talking for any sort of helpline, any sort of customer queries, any sort of support, mostly like 80% it's driven by Gen AI. So yeah, that is all the thing. And the major tools you can see in the right side is like Chat GPT, and you guys all know it. And then Claude. Claude is like a very big next LLM company which do all sort of AI innovations. And then we have Perplexity, and then we have GitHub Copilot, and we have Midjourney and DALI. So Midjourney and DALI is basically for image generation. A lot of artists are like leveraging this kind of tools to regenerate images. And right now it's used in all film industries. So most of the morphing, most of the VFX and all those things are really uh, like creative because of this kind of tools. Yes, how did this magic happen, and how did like really Gen AI really work? How, what are the stages in that Gen AI? How did this evolve? So first we'll start with the crawling stage. So that is like the traditional machine learning. So AI was a term which coined around 1960s, and then uh, people thought, like all the innovators thought of making it useful for the people, and then that's how it born like a traditional machine learning thing. So machine learning is nothing but using mathematics, statistics, and other subfields of mathematics, and then combining with computer science, so which used to analyze data and find patterns around it. So it's like a classic AI stuff, which is like there in every application right now. So this all happened, this revolution all happened during the dot-com bubble, which is like 1990s to 2010s. And yes, Google leveraged a lot. That is called the search engine, the crawling engine, everything. And then 2012, we had deep learning. So, or 2012, what happened is there is a thing called AlexNet. So AlexNet basically able to identify images and identify numbers using the neural network concept. And that is how the craze started for deep learning. People believe that uh, the neural networks will be able to understand the data patterns automatically without any stats logics or any other, behind the things there are math logic. But here we don't want to really uh, be a supervisor or be a support to change things inside the network to analyze those patterns. So that is how the deep learning case it was. And then a lot of models came out like YOLO, a lot of frameworks came like PyTorch and all tools like TensorFlow, and many things came out during those side. And right now, a lot of industries are using deep learning. The self-driving cars, the famous self-driving cars, is running uh, like under the hood of deep learning. So thanks to that. Next is like the walking part, which is like the NLP with RNNs and LSTMs. So NLP is nothing but natural language processing. So in machine learning or in AI, everything is called as numbers. Whatever the input you give, which all will be converted to a matrix set of numbers, and then all those calculations will happen, and then again those numbers will be transferred to another set of output, which is like required to our output, whether it will be a text or it will be a music or it will be an image, any sort of thing. So natural language is nothing but, so the input and output will be going to be a text. So that's the thing. And also in textual way, so there is one major challenge, which is to identify the sequence of the text. So example, if we say I ate an apple, so I ate apples. So in this sentence, three words, the sequence matters. So that is how there is a network called RNNs and LSTMs, recurrent neural networks and long short-term model. So with this neural networks, the model can able to understand the sequence and so understand the patterns to generate those kind of things. So then people are said, okay, we have found the way to identify those sequence. Now, how we can generate those things? Generate the next word. So example, say I ate apple and went to the, so it's like fill in the blanks. What word we can match it to that? So to build that kind of models, they need an architecture called transformer models. So transformers were founded by the Google engineers. And they also open sourced it. This paper is out in the internet. You can always go and search. It's a very famous paper. Like as a AI people, and we all as a AI engineers, like we love to see those paper, and I encourage you to see those paper. Uh, so in that paper, they clearly explain how a neural network they transformed into architecture called transformers, where how they used attention mechanisms uh, to understand and generate new set of words to that. Uh, so you can have a look, and then so right now say we have the transformers. So then with those transformers, they built LLMs is nothing but we call it as large language models, trained on massive set of text data. So massive set in the sense like all the Wikipedia data set and all the internet and all sort of open source data, the books, the things, and all those sort of things. So OpenAI, the founders of ChatGPT, these guys, and then Anthropic, so who's like the founder of Claude, the company. So these guys, what they did is they plucked all sort of and they extracted all sort of data around the textual stuff, and they built and they fed it to the transformer model, and that is how the LLM thing was born. And those LLM thing act as a brain for all your ChatGPT application and all other tools you use in GenAI stuff. So yeah, right now we have LLM. So what is next? So we have a brain which can generate the required things what we want. Uh, then why can't we put it into action, like thinking and acting autonomously? So we call it as like singularity, which is like the ultimate thing in AI. So how we can put those into action? So that is how the agentic AI and that wave right now is riding the total industry, I would say. So right now, industry is trying to automate some kind of redundant work, which will save money, time, and improve the productivity of people. So we are building like we all like in the industry are trying to build meaningful agentic AI solutions. A very simple agentic AI solutions. Examples say to automate your back office roles, to automate customer queries, so this kind of things, the agentic AI will be useful. Yes. So that is how the evolution. And we already know, like talked about LLMs and what is like tokens. Tokens is nothing. So if I say, I ate apple. Okay. So this is like a three-word sentence. So this token is nothing but it is like a collection of it's like consider this is a dictionary. There is a dictionary where we need to map words to that. So I ate apples. So there are like three tokens, three words or three tokens. So I am riding a bike. So I am will be like one token. Riding will be split into two sort of things because ride is a single word and ing is another extra stuff in the word. So that will be like another two tokens. So it is like slicing and dicing of the words inside the sentence. So that is called tokens. And then temperature is an important parameter in LLM, which controls the creativity of the LLM model. So if that will be ranged to 0 to 1. So if we say the temperature is set to 0.1, the model will be little creative and it will be like more determined on the output results. It will give just what the result you need. If I say the model results will be I booked a ticket on this particular day, so that is the result of temperature 0.1. we set the temperature for 1, so it'll be like more creative. So for your journey and this on the rainy days, I booked this side ticket for you, and this is like the chart, and it'll be like so much creative on whatever the things it generates. So that is the temperature. And next is prompt. So this is a very key thing. So we can say this is like the instruction set which we feed it to the LLM model. So it's simply structuring the way we request the LLM model, like on what it should do. Because LLM can do whatever the things we ask, right? Like even if you say sing a song, it will sing a song for you. If you say you write a poem, it will write a poem for you. Similar to that, just structuring the things according to the way we want from the LLM is called like prompting. We'll be seeing prompting in a very detailed manner in the coming slides. Yes. But remember, this is how the lineup goes on the evolution. So once we want to learn about Gen AI, so learning like a little bit of NLP, little bit of transformers will be like very much helpful, because those are the roots of Gen AI. Next is like the prompt engineering. As I said, this is the key piece into this. The prompt is nothing. You guys can, whenever you use ChatGPT, you'll be asking something to the bot, right? Like I need the itinerary to go to Paris. So that is like a prompt, right? So there are some ways of using prompting, and there are some techniques to do prompting. So I'll be giving you a walkthrough on that. Yes. Yes, the techniques are zero shot prompting. So in zero shot prompting, you just give nothing. You just give a sentence to the LLM. I mean LLM, I would say like ChatGPT itself. So you just give a sentence to the ChatGPT. So write a poem about space travel. So that's it. So that is zero shot prompting. And there is another thing called one shot prompting. So in one shot, you will give an example to the LLM. So example, you say write a tweet like this as an example. Like write a tweet like this means like some kind of a relative sentence which you want to generate. And next is like few shot. Few shot is you'll be giving multiple examples to the LLM. So the more things you empower ChatGPT or the LLM with your prompts, the you will get a determined and the required results from LLM. So people always complain that LLM throws unwanted things. LLM gives very generic answers. LLMs are not able to give much clear results or something like that. So I would say the mistake is from both of our sides. Still, the LLM, the side of models has some kind of edge cases, but on the other side, it also has a responsible prompting from our side of giving the right prompts to get the right results. We can't say just by asking a simple one-liner questions and asking them to give very detailed answers on the required stuff. It's not possible. So we should be very clear on the prompting side. Next is like the chain of thoughts. Chain of thought is, so you have a very massive problem. Example, say you have a very massive math problem. So you explain LLM on how to solve it. So you don't want to say the exact algorithm, but you can say like example, explain how to solve this math problem step by step. So you should ask like you have to say like first calculate this thing, first calculate the next step two, and give the final answer. You just guide the LLM on a very series of instructions, and that will give you a step by step kind of analysis to give the answers. Next is role based. So in role based, you'll be asking the LLM to assume it is that kind of a role. So in this case, you will be saying that you are a chef. Suggest a quick dinner recipe. So you are asking LLM or the ChatGPT to assume it as a chef, so that it will automatically load all the related stuff to the cook kind of things, and it will be you'll be asking like suggest a quick dinner recipe, and it will be like easy to create those recipes for you. So this is the another set of prompting. So you can use all this kind of techniques according to your convenience. So suppose you have an example, you can go with one shot prompting or few shot prompting. If you don't have an example, you can go for zero shot. If you have a very big problem, go for chain of thought. Or if you have some kind of role based kind of things, go with role based prompting. Yes. So coming to the prompting tips and techniques. So we follow a framework called we follow a framework called RT-PCR. So in this RT-PCR, we call it as role, task, parameters, context, response format. So every prompt which should start with the role, and then we have to clearly define what is the task, and if it has any required parameters, like example, you want to book a ticket. Give away the example. So I want to book a ticket from Chennai to Hyderabad. Let's say, okay. So here I'll ask the Chat GPT. First, my sentence will be, "You are a travel booking assistant." Okay. The next, my task would be, uh, I uh, I want to. So your task is like you have to support the booking people with some booking assistance. So that is your task. And parameters will be like you should accept parameters like the from destination to destination, the date, and then the context is uh, like any other details about the particular persons, like example, what is their preference of seats, what is their boarding point, what are the other details, the supporting details you want for the stuff. And next is like the response format is like so here this is your itinerary and this is your travel plans and here is the travel results. So this is how we have to structure the prompt when you give it to the chat gpt. So if you give like this, definitely your the chat gpt or whatever the llm tools you use will give you a perfect answer, I would say. So I have explained all those things in a uh, scenarios based things, like for developer. So you are a python developer, optimize this function for the speed, and the function should run under like these are like the parameters. The current code is used to process user records and show optimized outcode with the comments. So like this is how I structured the prompts. This is like the breakdown, but when I give it to the chat GPT or something, I will just line up in a sequence of sentence and I'll be pushing it to the bot. I mean the LLM. Yeah. Next, the vibe coding. So previously when I joined in the industry like 5 years back, we don't have access to this kind of llms or any sort of tools. So coding is more kind of manual, creative, and a thinking kind of thing. So the only helpline we had is like the stack overflow, and whatever we have any kind of doubts or something, we have to google it up and we have to find it by ourselves. We didn't had any sort of assistance like that. But right now, the trend got changed. Like a couple of years back, ChatGPT was launched, and one immediate use case was like the coding. I mean, LLM or the Gen AI can be used inside coding. So then the term called vibe coding started. Right now, if you ask any sort of developers, I mean the newbies or the coming generation people, they immediately go to ChatGPT, get the code and tweak it and make it work for whatever the things you are asked for. So that is called the vibe coding. And I would say it has disadvantages, but it also has the advantage, I would say. So we have to be start adapting this kind of trend, but just make sure what are the things are happening behind the codes, like what are the code it generates, whether it is like relatively uh, meaningful for whatever the use case we are doing it up. So that should be like we should be very clear on that. So the tools and the platforms are like GitHub Copilot, which is like the first product launched into the vibe coding space. And now right now VS Code or the VS Code has the GitHub Copilot, and we can use Copilot inside that. We just give the required things, and it will automatically code and debug and do all sort of corrections to that thing. And ChatGPT by default it comes with a code interpreter. Like a lot of people are using it right now. And Databricks notebooks. So if you use Databricks inbuilt has Jupyter notebooks. So in Jupyter notebooks, they have this kind of vibe coding. So if you give any scenarios, like example, take this data frame, do some analysis, give some kind of metrics of mean, median, mode, or something like that. It'll automatically do the coding for you and will give the things. And Snowflake, we have Snowpark, and then for Amazon we have Code Whisperer, and for Google we have Gemini, and then like for a standalone kind of ID, we have Cursor. So these are like the very famous vibe coding tools that is like used in a daily basis. So the very pro is for us 5 years back to build a simple login application. It took like 5 days to develop it, 5 days to test it, 5 days to deploy it, and it'll take overall a month to go live. But right now I can go within maybe like a 3 hours or 2 hours of building that, not only the login page, the entire thing what they have asked for. So that is that much easy right now. We are saving like a lot of time on that side, but still there are some cons, like some codes are like vulnerable, and some uh, we need to be manually cross-checking all those codes, whether it has any serious code smells, or whether it has any uh, token issues or something like that. Okay, so vibe coding do's and don'ts. Be very specific in your prompts. As I said, we just follow the prompt techniques, and uh, uh, just ask a question like why, but verify whether the. So every time when you go for Copilot or for any sort of vibe coding tools, when you ask a question to that, it will generate the code, but it will ask whether to keep the code into your current code base or not. So make sure whether it generated the right code before you accept that code into your code base. Also explain the problem in a very step by step thing, not as like one single prompt to the LLM, so that it'll get confused. And then review and understand, which is like a very standard thing. Then validate, and then um, if you want like more flavors of the solution, just try to try different sort of modulations of that request what you want to make. Then have version control. Like example, you can create multiple feature branches. I mean, like in Git we call it as like branching, or in a very simple term I'd say like create three different project, like project 1, project 2, project 3, with the same use case, and try to see how AI generates for the three answers, and find like pick the best one. And then if you're not clear on any aspect of the code which it got generated, please do ask the explanation to that bot itself. Because sometimes the complex code, which is like very hard to understand, that will be like a serious things which will make the system worse. So please ask the like bot, or you just get your clarity before you run or make it like do working in your environment. Then benchmark and test. So always have a habit of writing test cases or have some test scenarios to test your applications. Anyway, you will be doing it like to see whether it's working or not. But apart from that, try some extra test to avoid any sort of harmful effects on the code. And then a very famous thing we'll call combine AI with your knowledge, not as your replacement. So always treat AI as your partner, or as your code evaluator, or some kind of assist tool, but not as your exact replacement. Like example, say Robin, any code can, I mean, any vibe coding tool can match me. So I should not consider myself with that tool. So it should enable me to do things, but it should not be a tool to do things. Okay, so yes, and don't just like don't simply blindly copy paste. Like you just ask the code and you just copy paste the code. Don't do that. Don't skip the requirements. Like always test all the tools with the necessary inputs and outputs. Don't ignore licensing. So example, like there are a lot of compliances issues, like taking some public repos or taking some private codes and something, and you will be violating, and your organization or your educational institution will be in a situation to answer all those things. Be make sure of that, and don't give any sort of high confidential architectures to the LLM thing. Like maybe you will be building on some projects and it should be highly confidential. Don't do that kind of informations, and don't assume it will be always perfect in AI. It sometimes hallucinate for some kind of complex, even for some simple stuff. So make sure you go through all those code and don't use any sort of your sensitive data, particularly your sensitive images or sensitive bank credentials or any sort of financial credentials to the bot. So some people are trying to link their bank applications or share their bank applications and use it for some kind of banking automations or financial automations. Don't do this kind of mistakes to LLM, because definitely there are some there are some ways people can infiltrate those kind of things and take your informations away. And even bot can do whatever the things it wants at any cases. Don't do that kind of things. And next thing is, don't stop learning. So AI is evolving and a lot of tools are coming out every day. So just see to that. So RAG. Next is RAG is called retrieval augmented generation. What is this concept called and why it is famous? So RAG is nothing. It's like uh, um, similar to LLM. So we will leverage LLM on top of our set of data to give a required answer. So I'll give you the example. Say you are having a set of question papers, you are having a set of answer things. You want to ask a question and get the answers from that particular set of things. How you gonna do that? You imagine that LLM does not know about that answers which you have prepared, because it's a fresh set of answers which you have created or your set of people have created to that. How we can do that? So drag make it possible. um, so how it makes possible is, I'll explain. Yeah, next thing. So why it is famous right now is because of the limited LLM knowledge. So every LLM, every Chat GPT, Claude, or anything has a limited knowledge, and we call it as final. So every model you take, they has a final cutoff date. Means that, so the model which you have selected has some cutoff date. So only the information is available or the news available only to that particular date will be available to that particular model. Suppose that all those informations will not be available. So say this till today LLM model is trained, and tomorrow something is happening, something innovation is happening, something somebody has founded some nanotech or something like that. So those informations will not be available into the LLM. So for those kind of things, they build RAG. And then to avoid hallucination, so if he has some kind of things which is not there in the knowledge of the LLM, so LLM will start hallucinating in the sense it will start giving random gibberish answers, and we assume that it will be like correct, but it will be like a mistake. And then we have some fine tuning cost. So to build a LLM or develop a LLM, it's not that simple. We need massive amount of data to train that kind of massive amount of data. We need a massive amount of compute to do that, which is cost will be like in millions to do that. And then we need custom domain people. So if you want to build a sales related bot, or you want to build educational institution related bot, so so for those kind of things, RAG is a perfect thing. And next is it has high privacy and security. So meaning that so nothing will go beyond your system. So it will be always safe in your system kind of thing. So this is the hype cycle which happened in 2024. So the last year, still this year is yet to complete, so still we have to see that. But here you can clearly see the hype is mostly on the RAG part. So RAG picks it, and still people are using it. So people are following it up. And this hype cycle, it's based upon people how they follow it and how they have it in their development cycle. So yes, RAG. So how it's like operating. So say you are the user, you ask a prompt or plus a query. So you ask like, uh, what is like what is Turing test. So that is like a prompt. So the Turing test related details are not available. Consider that is not available in the LLM or ChatGPT or whatever it is, but that is available in your answer booklets or your answer sheet what you have prepared for. Okay. So what this prompt will do is like step one, you'll give a prompt to the LLM. So that LLM will go to a server. So that server, what it says, so that question answer is not available in LLM. So can you check whether it is there in our knowledge source? So that search engine will go to your knowledge source. So identify the details from your PDF or from your database or from your code, or even do a web search and find it out. And then it will come back with the answer and it will give it to the LLM to make it a very structured response and give it back to the system. That is called a RAG, but technically it has like more components. So next is agentic AI. So agentic AI, nothing. It's a equation of having an LLM model with a memory, with the tools, and with a reasoning loop and autonomy. So agentic AI basically will, if you ask any query, it will plan automatically on what it has to do, and it will act upon that, and it will observe the actions and it will learn from the actions. That is how the cycle goes. For agentic AI, the planning, which has like prompt techniques, task planning, logic, we all define all those things, and then it has an execution engine which will execute using sub agents or tools, and it has guardrails to avoid any sort of errors or implications. And then refinement, it will refine using the memory in memory and LLM as a judge. And then we have an interface which combines human and agent, basically to correct any sort of results or correct any sort of answers from the bot. So this is the agentic AI stack. So for front end, we have Streamlit and Gradio, and for memory, we have Leta. So a lot of tools are there. I will give you the slide back to the team, and they will be sharing it, so you can have a look. And so agentic AI versus LM was RAG. So these are the techniques involved in all the all the concepts. I mean the frameworks. So for knowledge base, so for LLM, it will be like static. For RAG, we can use our own documents to use it. And for agentic AI, it can combine with your documents, it will combine with the internet or any sort of memory it has. And grounding is nothing like you should be asking the LLM to fix to particular term only or particular documents only or dataset only. So for LLM, we don't have that kind of grounding logic. For RAG, we have retrieval grounding, or for agentic AI, we have retrieval execution plus memory. And tool access for LLM, we don't have any tool access. So LLM can't have an inbuilt tool. For RAG, we have a retrieval tool, so which will able to retrieve things from the documents. And for agentic AI, we have a lot of tool set like APIs, DBs, orchestrator, MCPs, and other stuff to do the things. And reasoning, so LLM, it's just a single way. We just ask a query, it'll give the response. That's it. And RAG, it's like single pass plus retrieval. So we ask a question, but in the backend, it'll go back and he'll search for the results from its document and come back with the results. And for agentic AI, it's an iterative loop. So it'll keep on looping us with the questions and answers back to give the final results. And memory, so LLM, the data which is trained on is like that is the memory. And for RAG, so we have a set of documents that we call it as context and documents. And for agentic AI, so that is like short term and long term memory. Then autonomy, so we in LLM we don't have autonomy. Sorry. And RAG, we don't have any autonomy. But for agentic AI, we have that plan, acts, and adapts. So that kind of autonomy we have. So GenAI applications in HR department, it's used for resume screening, job description creation. I mean, employee chatbots, like a lot of things. These are like the tools for marketing, for campaign content generation, SEO optimization, social post, etc. For sales, we have for email personalization, for proposal generation, CRM, and for engineering, as it goes with code generation, test cases, documentation. Operations, it's like workflow automations, optimizations, process documentation, anomaly detections, etc. These are like the tools. You can have a check on those tools if you are not using it, and it will be useful for your day-to-day work. And responsible AI and ethics. It's a very underrated thing. People don't call it as very important, but I would say it's very important uh, because the journey just started with Gen AI, and we should be very responsible on the ways we use it. Why it is important? Because it can create a serious social impact, and it can right now even you can notice that your kids or your the younger generations, their way of adapting to or consuming knowledge is very different from what the way we have used. Yeah. uh, and then the trust and adoption. So we have to build trust on any solutions what we have, and we have to have a perfect control on those trust. Then the regulatory compliance. We should be always compliant with the institution or the people who are supporting to build this solution. We should have the LLM model in a very controlled manner to give results back to us. And this is for all development purpose, not for using in day-to-day activities. Just if you are developing any GenAI solution, be aware of this kind of ethics and responsible stuffs. Yes, so time is like running up, so I'll just skip little portion and I'll go to the responsible AI and governance section. So consideration for responsible AI framework. So transparency and trust. We should be very transparent on what the data it's like running it, and how what are the trusting layers. Like example, we can trust on these or this or things like example this particular date. All those informations are available, so we have to be very highlighted on those things. And fairness and equity. So it should have be trained on diverse data. So there was one scenario in which happened, I think, in the Western countries where it when we say ugly, it mentioned about people who are has dark colors as their skin tone. So that is because of the fairness and equity kind of ratio, which is like not fed properly to the LLM. Right. So we should be very careful on that those aspects, and say scalability and infra. So Gen AI solutions need high scalable and infrastructure kind of things, a compute to do that. Right now, you can see in India, like in the Indian government is doing a lot of transformations on that aspects, like building all the compute and all those things. And always it should be human plus AI, not AI. I mean AI under the human. I mean like over the human. So it should be like always have like a pair kind of thing. And data privacy, compliance, and security always follow the standards. Don't uh, build anything very out of the standard stuffs. Yes, this is for enterprise GenAI governance, but I'll skip it because that's related to enterprise. Yeah, this is responsible AI in the workplace. Workplace is nothing like the place you work or you learn or do whatever the things. So do's and don'ts. Do be transparent. Like tell your people when to use AI, and audit for fairness. Like check for any models, like for any sort of bias. Enable human oversight. Like have people in the loop, and have always like the privacy set of tools to be implemented. And whenever you ask any sort of uh, whenever it gives some complex question, demand the explanation from the AI. Why you said that, what you said that, what's behind that logic. Because sometimes the logic will be very poor by the LLM, and you can notice it by the explanations. And don't hide and use AI, and don't ignore any bias. Don't rely on AI alone for any sort of automations. Don't over collect data. Like if you have enough data, go for building that Gen AI solution. Don't use opaque systems where it's like a black box. You don't know what is happening inside the system. Don't do that kind of developments. The future is like in Gen AI, there will be a lot of domain specific LLMs. For example, it will be for legal, healthcare, finance, like those kind of LLMs will be there. And multimodal capabilities, like right now we have textual kind of thing, images there, like Nano Banana, and like a lot of tools are Gemini is there, and audio video kind of inputs will be there. And in future, I'd say it's like a fusion of everything will be there. So we just ask, there will be one single bot which will do all sort of things for you guys. And then next is Auto ML plus Gen AI. Gen AI will automatically do all sort of model training and development for you. So still it's in a very nascent stage, but yeah, it will be there. And then LLM ops at scale. Um, Even we build LLM, we have to manage all those operations. So there is a concept called LLM ops. I encourage you to see that. So it will be they'll explain how to manage all the LLM applications in the production. And then there'll be like a lot of open source models. Example, Llama is there, Mistral is there. So those kind of things. And then enterprise Gen AI platforms, like every cloud platform has their generative AI platforms. Like Amazon, if you say there is Bedrock, for Azure you say there is AI Studio, for Google you say Vertex AI Studio, and every IBM, every company has their own platform. This is a short demo, but I'll skip it for time being. And then the recommended certifications. So for AWS, we have GenAI Foundational Badge, and in AWS, we have AWS Certified AI Practitioner. If you just search through the keywords itself, you'll find the certifications. I think the certification learning is all free. You can always go to the site and learn it. And only for certification, you have to pay the price, and it'll be around like $99, something like that. And even if you are from a student background, it will be like very cheap. I think a 50% or full discount, I would say, based on your institutional tire. So for Google, we have GenAI Leader certification. For Databricks, we have GenAI Associate. For Microsoft, we have AI Fundamentals. And then for AWS, we have ML Specialty plus Bedrock Developer Track. For Google, we have again GenAI Engineer certification. And for Microsoft, we have AI 102 Azure AI Engineer. For Hugging Face, we have LLM fine tuning and deployment. So these are like the standard certifications, not like a typical course or a boot camp. Yeah, you have to pay high prices. It's just you learn and you do the certification and you pay the price for the certification. And it is like industry recognized certifications. Yeah, that's it, students and people. Thank you. So we'll go through the doubt sessions, or any, if you have any questions for me, like please post it to the screen. Give me a sec. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Robin, for the wonderful session.
Yes.
You started nicely with the basics of LLM and how this information is fetched from RAG and everything, right? It was very informative and also given more insights on generative AI. And we have a few questions, right? So I
Yeah.
got a question from that live that, like Maria Michael is awesome, right? Sir, Michael, sir.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Posted a question.
Okay.
I'll start with that question. So, what research is ongoing to make generative AI more explainable and trustworthy?
Okay. So for the trustworthy part, so we always there is some certain benchmarking, I would say. So let me share a link. Okay. Well, yeah, 1 minute. So uh, this is the link which has all the. Okay, I can't post. So how to post a link? I'll share it in the Zoom. You can go share it in that
Yeah, just
YouTube channel. Yeah. Okay. Um.
yeah, I'll post it. I'll post it.
Yeah. So this link has the benchmarking of all the LLMs on different standards, like based on reasoning, based on high school back, based on agentic coding, and even based on the tool you use. So a lot of evaluation mechanisms are there to make it like trustworthy and make it like ranked based upon their, I mean, results. And on the explainability part, so still, neural network is always called a black box. We don't know what is happening around inside it, how it's like generating all those things. And that is like the pros as well as like there is a cons which gives more uh, uh, power to the model to generate things. But still, in this benchmarking itself, we can understand how the model is working to a minimal level. So, yeah.
Yeah. I have another question. I have posted in the
Yeah.
chat box.
Yes. How does the
How does
transformer enable LLMs to handle long range dependencies in sequence compared to? So it is purely because of the term attention mechanism. So in RNN and LSTMs, we to map the sequence. So we arrange the neural network orders in a sequence to understand that. But in transformers, we have the attention. So in attention, we have the mechanism to. It's like a encoder and decoder mechanism. So encoder is nothing, just understanding the textual temporal informations, and then in the decoder it will be able to identify all those information and generate the sequence and try to match it against their sequence itself. So it's a nice topic, but I would say I'll share another link to know more about that. Give me a sec. So yes.
Yeah, I'll share this. And my
Yeah.
final question, like, how does generative AI is going to transform like industries like education, especially our education sector?
Uh, Yes, sir. So even it started this transformation is already on. We can see the people, I mean, the students' conceptions of knowledge. So when 3 years back, the way we consume knowledge is by books and maybe like from tutorials and videos and those kind of things. But right now, the first go-to tool for any student is ChatGPT. If they have any sort of technical questions or doubt-related question, they go to ChatGPT, get those answers, and they fill all those things. So that is like the beginning of it for education. And in future, I would say like or the way of reviewing. I mean, like the test and all the models that I mean the model of testing we have will change. People will be really tested with a scenario based kind of things. All the exams and all things will be given as like a scenario based kind of things to solve problem. Example, they have to leverage this kind of tools to solve. Even in right now in industry, it's happening. Even in interviews, people are given the access to tools like ChatGPT to solve a problem. We ask a technical question, and they can use ChatGPT to solve those particular problem. The way we see it, how they are leveraging those kind of tools to solve those kind of things. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions, participants? If you have any questions, you can ask right now.
Participants,
Yeah.
those who are attended in the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, I have posted the questions which has been asked in YouTube channel.
Okay.
Now,
Sure.
if you have any questions from Zoom participants.
Robin,
Yes, sir.
nowadays, what if the students or faculty, if they have any doubt, first of all, they have typed the questions, the chat GPT. Is
Yes.
this the right way for learning?
Sorry.
Today, nowadays, if any
Uh,
doubt or any query
yeah.
for by the student or faculty, they
Yeah.
have directly typed the queries in the chat GPT, then give
Correct.
the answer. This is the
Correct.
right way for the learning.
Uh, uh, so if it is for the learning purpose, it's fine. If it is for during any
For
test or you,
industry point of view,
yeah, it's okay, sir. Like, so basically, this kind of tools enabled us to search more. So it's okay. Like, people can use this kind of tools.
okay.
Uh, yeah. for their research purpose, but not for any sort of exams or any other stuff.
But industry point of view, this is the right way.
Yes, sir. See, whatever the knowledge they gain, they should like have it in their mind, and they should not misuse or they should not be dependent on that tool always. That is
Okay.
like the much needed thing.
Okay. Thanks, for thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Robin studied in B computer science. Okay.
Yes, yes.
But you are now you are in the senior data scientist. How the transformation happens? What things you have
Okay,
learned for the data
okay,
scientist?
okay. So I would say in 2015 I started my B, and
Okay.
during that time AI was nothing. Nobody knows about AI. All the CSC sector we know about like data sectors, Java. That's it. I
Okay.
mean C++ and all app development maybe and website. So
Hmm.
I learned Python before coming into college itself. Like
Okay.
I usually browse a lot, like try to see what's happening around the tech, and I'll be like very curious to see what's happening, and that is how I learned Python before coming to college. So
Hmm.
after even nobody there to support me on that college, so internet was my only friend to do that,
Hmm.
and then I started taking a lot of courses, and during that time, the NPTL, like I was a student, so NPTL was the course where it offered like all sort of AI related stuff, and I learned from that.
Okay.
And then with that knowledge itself, I did some projects on AI during my third year itself, and I got like internship from various companies, and I landed up in AI jobs, and I went
Okay.
from that angle. So it was a risky thing, but I still trusted the process. I still trusted the trend. So always the industry go by trend and go by the demands of the industry. So I just follow that. I adapted myself to that.
Okay. Thanks for thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, and
Yeah,
all.
Robin,
Yes,
Robin, one final question we got in, YouTube
yeah,
chat. That
yeah.
is what I posted.
Could you share a roadmap to projects involving Gen? Okay, so that's very easy one. So first thing is to roadmap is like personally we should be able to learn the tech behind AI, Gen AI. Like example, first is Python is very mandatory. All should be very handful in Python. Next is there are a lot of Gen AI tools. I mean frameworks. I would say like Llama Index, LangChain, LangGraph, and Crew AI, and always pick with any cloud. You should be very strong with any cloud. Either it should be AWS, or it should be Google Cloud, or it should be Azure AI. So anything you should be very familiar and with learning of this technology. Next is checking out the use cases. So pick any domain in any use cases. Either it should be healthcare, or either it should be finance, even it should be a educational domain. So in that particular domain, see what are the major generative problems. And generative in the sense, for example, your professor will be struggling to create a very difficult question paper. That is a use case. And in healthcare, generating a discharge summary according to the full patient logs is a very difficult use case. You have to go through all sort of filings of that particular patient. Even that patient has 3 years of history with the details. So that is a challenge. So that is how first learn the tech, identify the domain, drill the domain, talk to people in that domain who has like great experience, identify what are the generative problems they have, like what are the generative problem in the sense the way they need to write things or create things where they are struggling. Identify those use cases, filter like 5 top use cases, pick a best one, and try to crack it. And definitely, I think that will be the perfect roadmap to do that.
Yeah, thank you. And one last question we have got again. Can you
Yeah.
see the chat?
So could you please elaborate AI tools and frameworks? So yeah, I given in the slide like what are the tech stack we use like on the agentic AI, and that always goes with the tools with what we use in GenAI also. I'll share the slide to this sir, and we can have a look. Yes. And share whether you have personally worked on any innate in agents. Yes, innate in is a very famous framework to build all sort of like it's an open source framework to build agents based on the tools and the agents. I'd say I have created tools for automating mails for or custom mails for the users, like for relatively what questions they ask. So we just fetch all those related answers and we give a custom mails to them. And many agents we built around that. Yes, it's a nice tool to learn. You can start learning the tool, and industry also demanding that kind of tools to be learned and be aware of. So we can start learning that tool. Yes. And also I'll share another site which is like very helpful in learning. So it has all the courses for free related to GenAI. I shared that in the Zoom. So sir will be sharing it.
Yeah. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for the wonderful session and the very informative thing. Right. So, on behalf of Department of Computer Science and Engineering and RMK College of Engineering and Technology, and the organizing committee of Generic Talk Series, I take this opportunity to extend my gratitude to everyone to make this session very successful. And first and foremost, our sincere thanks to our speaker, Mr. Robin Reni, for delivering such an insightful and inspiring talk. Especially, you have combined this agentic AI, LLM, and RAG, retrieval augmentation and generation. So, definitely, this will motivate our students and faculty members to explore further on this generative AI. And I deeply grateful for our management principal, head of the department, deans, and faculty members for constant encouragement and support and guidance for organizing such an event. Last but not the least, I thank to all the participants for your active involvement and thoughtful interaction, and your presence that truly made this session meaningful. Once again, I thank everyone for being a part of this program and enriching your experience. Thank you. Thank you, Robin. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you. Thank you.